What's up, time travelers? Welcome to the channel where we use cutting-edge AI to do the impossible. Bring history's most fascinating legends back to life. Imagine stepping through a digital portal and locking eyes with Leonardo da Vinci, Cleopatra, Shakespeare, or Anne Frank, seeing their faces as if they were alive today, and discovering the real people behind the myths. Today, you'll meet 20 icons who changed the world forever, each one recreated with a spark of modern magic. Ready for the ultimate time jump? Let's go. Leonardo da Vinci, 1452 to 1519. The face of the Renaissance itself. Painter, inventor, engineer, and the definition of a genius ahead of his time. Leonardo painted the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, but behind those masterpieces, he was secretly sketching flying machines, armored tanks, anatomical diagrams, and city plans centuries before anyone else could even dream of them. Obsessed with learning, he dissected corpses to understand muscles and bones, kept his notes in mirror writing, and once said, "Learning never exhausts the mind." Through AI, you can almost see those restless thoughts flickering behind his legendary gaze. Cleopatra VII, 69 to 30 BC, the queen who could hold an empire in one hand and the hearts of Rome's most powerful men in the other. Fluent in at least 9 languages, she was a skilled politician, a shrewd diplomat, and Egypt's last true pharaoh. Cleopatra's meeting with Julius Caesar, hidden in a rug, changed the fate of Egypt, while her alliance with Mark Antony almost created a new world superpower. She made her own rules in a world of men, and her legend outshone even the pyramids. William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616, the man who changed language, theater, and the way we think about love, ambition, power, and tragedy. Shakespeare invented words, phrases, and archetypes still alive in global culture. His works, Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, Romeo, and Juliet, are more than just plays. They are blueprints for the human soul, performed and reimagined in every corner of the earth. Looking at his recreated face, you can almost hear the scratch of a quill and the buzz of Elizabethan London. Joan of Arc, 1412 to 1431. The teenager who listened to heavenly voices, put on armor, and led the battered armies of France against the might of England. Joan's courage and conviction terrified her enemies and changed the course of the 100 Years' War. She was captured, tried, and burned alive at just 19, but her legacy lived on, making her not just a saint, but a symbol of faith and defiance against impossible odds. Socrates, 470 to 399 BC. The original master of the why question. Socrates taught not through lectures, but relentless dialogue, forcing the powerful and the proud to question their assumptions. He walked the streets of Athens, embarrassing the wise, teaching the young, and insisting that the unexamined life is not worth living. Sentenced to death, he chose principle over survival, and through Plato's writings, his ideas still challenge us today. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769 to 1821. The Corsican outsider who rose to become Emperor of the French rewrote the map of Europe and inspired both terror and admiration from Moscow to Madrid. Napoleon wasn't just a battlefield genius. He was a modernizer, lawgiver, and showman. He made soldiers march across deserts and mountains, built the Napoleonic Code, and turned his legend into an era. His intense, calculating stare reveals a man who believed that destiny could be seized and made real. Marie Curie, 1867 to 1934. The first person ever to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Born in occupied Poland, Marie fought poverty and prejudice to become the discoverer of radium and polonium. Her pioneering research on radioactivity changed physics and medicine forever, saving millions of lives. Despite constant discrimination and exposure to lethal radiation, Curie's willpower and intellect made her a hero to scientists and feminists worldwide. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, 1756 to 1791. The child prodigy who dazzled Europe, composing symphonies at 5, performing for kings at 6, and creating more than 600 works in his short, turbulent life. Mozart's music is pure energy, operas, concertos, symphonies that burst with emotion and genius. Despite dying poor and unrecognized, his melodies are now some of the most played and loved in history. His youthful, mischievous look hints at a mind forever brimming with ideas. Queen Elizabeth I, 1533 to 1603. England's Virgin Queen, who survived plots, assassination attempts, and a childhood of deadly palace intrigue to become one of the world's most famous rulers. She defeated the Spanish Armada, launched the English Renaissance, and forged an era of power and art under her steady rule. Her iconic image, red hair, pale skin, fierce gaze, reminds us of a woman who chose her crown over any husband, shaping a nation for centuries. Marcus Aurelius, 121 to 180 AD. The philosopher emperor who led Rome through wars, plagues, and personal tragedy, yet found time to write Meditations, the ultimate guide to stoic wisdom and calm under pressure. His rule was marked by discipline, fairness, and humility, and his words about life, fate, and duty still inspire leaders today. Marcus's thoughtful eyes reflect both the burdens of empire and the power of inner peace. Frida Kahlo, 1907 to 1954. The artist who turned pain into poetry on canvas. After polio and a near-fatal bus crash, Frida painted haunting self-portraits filled with symbolism, color, and raw emotion. Her work explores identity, love, suffering, and Mexican culture, while her look, unibrow, flowers, bold stare, became a symbol of unapologetic individuality. Frida's art and spirit broke every rule and still speak to the rebels and outsiders of every generation. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869 to 1948. The lawyer turned liberator who defeated the world's mightiest empire with non-violence and soul force. Gandhi led India to independence by peaceful protest, hunger strikes, and a refusal to hate his enemies. His methods inspired civil rights movements worldwide, showing that true strength comes not from weapons, but from an unbreakable will. Winston Churchill, 1874 to 1965. Britain's bulldog of World War II, whose words were as mighty as any army. When Britain stood alone against Hitler, Churchill's speeches rallied a nation to fight on, "We shall never surrender." An author, artist, and statesman, Churchill shaped history with wit, grit, and a refusal to accept defeat, even in the darkest hour. Julius Caesar, 100 to 44 BC, the general who crossed the Rubicon, toppled the Roman Republic, and set the stage for the empire. A master of propaganda, politics, and warfare, Caesar conquered Gaul, won civil wars, and reformed Rome, until his assassination by supposed friends. His name became a title, Caesar, Kaiser, Tsar, and his ambition changed history's direction. Vincent van Gogh, in 1853 tot 1990. The painter who saw the world in swirls of color and feeling. Van Gogh's art was dismissed in his lifetime, but his vision, sunflowers, starry nights, burning landscapes, became iconic after his tragic death. Despite mental illness and poverty, Vincent's relentless drive created beauty from pain, giving us art that pulses with life. Hannibal Barca, 247 to 183 BC. The Carthaginian general who crossed the Alps with elephants, outwitted the Roman legions, and became the nightmare of Rome. Hannibal's tactics at Cannae remain a masterpiece of military genius. For over a decade, he defied the mightiest empire of his time, proving that brains could outmatch brawn. Alexander the Great, 356 to 323 BC. The young Macedonian king who conquered the known world by age 32. Tutored by Aristotle, inspired by Homer, Alexander fused East and West, founding cities and spreading Greek culture from Egypt to India. Never defeated in battle, his ambition reshaped continents, and his name became a legend for all time. Sun Tzu, circa 544 to 496 BC, the ancient Chinese general and author of The Art of War. Sun Tzu's wisdom on strategy, deception, and flexibility has influenced generals, business leaders, and thinkers for 2,500 years. He taught that the best victory is the one won without a fight, and that knowing yourself and your enemy is the path to success. Ludwig van Beethoven, 1770 to 1827. The composer who turned deafness into defiance, writing symphonies that shook the world even when he could no longer hear them. Beethoven's music bridged the classical and romantic eras, capturing struggle, hope, and triumph. His Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy, remains an anthem for humanity's resilience. Anne Frank, 1929 to 1945. The teenage girl whose diary became the most powerful voice of hope in the Holocaust. Hiding in an Amsterdam attic, Anne wrote about fear, dreams, and the belief that people are really good at heart. She died in a concentration camp, but her words live on, a testament to the light that survives even in history's darkest hours. And there you have it, 20 legendary faces, each brought vividly back to life by AI. Behind every portrait is a story of genius, courage, struggle, or hope. A reminder that history isn't just a list of dates, but a living tapestry of real people who shape the world we live in now. Which of these icons would you most want to meet or talk to? Drop your answers in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more journeys across time and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, the future is made by those brave enough to change the present.